Future tenses in English from espressoenglish.net. Many students use will for everything in the future, but this is not completely correct. There are various future tenses in English, and in this lesson you are going to learn when to use each one. For predictions, use will, won't, or going to. For example, the economy will improve this year is the same as the economy's going to improve this year. In general, with first conditional sentences, using the word if, we use will and won't. For example, if you practice every day, your English will improve. If you don't study, you won't pass the test. For intentions, use going to. Intention is when you want to do something, but you haven't yet taken action. For example, this year I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to get out of debt. I'm going to join a gym. Going to is commonly used for New Year's resolutions. Now let's talk about plans and arrangements. Plans and arrangements are when you have already taken some action to make the plan a reality in the future. There are three possible tenses to use with plans and arrangements: going to, present continuous, or future continuous. For example, you can say, "We're going to visit him next week." Using the present continuous, you can say, "We're visiting him next week." Or, using the future continuous, "We'll be visiting him next week." These three structures, "we're going to visit," "we're visiting," and "will be visiting," in this context, these are essentially the same. For decisions in the moment, promises, and offers, use will. An example of a decision in the moment is ordering in a restaurant. "I'll have the chicken salad." Use will for promising. "I'll call you at 5 o'clock." Use will for offering. "I'll help you with the homework." For scheduled events in the future, use the present simple. Scheduled events are things like transportation schedules, conferences and events, and things that operate on a regular schedule, like the opening or closing of a store or bank. So it's more common to say, "Our flight leaves at 8 o'clock," instead of, "Our flight will leave at 8 o'clock." The conference starts tonight, and not "the conference will start tonight," because it's a scheduled event. Finally, we have events that will be completed before a specific time in the future. In this case, use the future perfect. Imagine that right now it's 12 o'clock p.m., and I need to finish a project before 5 o'clock p.m. I can say, "By 5 p.m. I will have finished the project," because the completion of the project comes between now and 5 o'clock. The future perfect is typically used with by and by the time. Some people call the future perfect the past in the future, because I am imagining being at a future point in time, 5 o'clock, and looking back on an action that has been completed in the past. Your homework is to complete the 5 exercises under this video that will help you use these future tenses in your English today. Talking about the future in English, will versus going to, from espressoenglish.net. There are 2 ways to talk about the future in English: will or won't, and going to. But which one should you use in each situation? In general, use going to for plans and arrangements, and use will and won't for promises, offers, and decisions made in the moment. Let's look at some examples. Going to for plans and arrangements. On my next vacation, I'm going to stay in a nice hotel. We're going to get married in September. David is going to meet us at the restaurant in half an hour. Remember that in spoken English, going to is often pronounced gonna, so these sentences would be pronounced, on my next vacation, I'm gonna stay in a nice hotel. We're gonna get married in September. David is gonna meet us at the restaurant in half an hour. Use will and won't for promises. He'll send you an email later. I won't tell anyone your secret. I'll pay you back tomorrow. We won't forget your birthday. Usually, will is abbreviated to the short form, so we say, he'll send you an email later, and not he will send you. Use will for offers. I'll buy you a drink. We'll help you carry those boxes upstairs. Finally, use will or won't for decisions made in the moment of speaking. For example, if someone asks, would you like tea or coffee? You can say, I'll have tea, because you made the decision in that moment. Here's another example. We don't have any eggs. Really? We need eggs to bake the cake, so I'll go to the store and buy some. One situation in which you can use going to or will or won't is when making predictions or saying general statements about the future. Here's an example of a prediction. Your wife will love those flowers. Or, your wife is going to love those flowers. These sentences are equal. Here's another example. At current rates, the company will grow 200% in the next 5 years. Or, at current rates, the company is going to grow 200% in the next 5 years. In the case of predictions or general statements about the future, you can use either going to or will or won't. One final tip about using the sentence I think when talking about the future. Say, I don't think it will rain, not I think it won't rain. There's no specific rule, but it just sounds more natural. 10 English phrases for talking about the future from espressoenglish.net. Number 1. It will happen any minute now. It will happen any day now. Use this phrase to say that an event is definitely going to happen very soon, but it is not known exactly when. For example, the doctors say she could have the baby any day now. Number 2. It's just around the corner. Just around the corner means that something will happen soon and you do know exactly when. For example, in the beginning of December, you could say that Christmas is just around the corner. Number 3. We're planning to move in the near future. In the near future also means soon, usually without knowing exactly when. But this phrase doesn't have the same sense of immediacy as any minute now or any day now. In the near future usually means a few weeks or months in the future. Number 4. It will happen in our lifetime. It won't happen in our lifetime. In our lifetime means in the next 50 to 60 years. For example, you could say, medicine is progressing very fast. I think a cure for cancer will be developed in our lifetime. Number 5. It's a sign of things to come. It's a taste of things to come. Use this phrase when something happens that indicates how things will be in the future. For example, if the economy is starting to get worse and worse, you could say, 3 people I know have lost their jobs recently. This is a sign of things to come, meaning that you believe many more people will lose their jobs in the future. Number 6. I'm counting the days until. Use this phrase when you are anxiously awaiting a future event. You want it to happen soon. For example, I'm counting down the days until my trip to the Caribbean. Number 7. Sooner or later. It's bound to happen eventually. Use these phrases to say that something will definitely happen sometime in the future. It may be soon or it may be far in the future. Number 8. I'll get around to it. Use this phrase to say that you will do something in the future when you have the time. It is usually used for activities that are not especially urgent. Number 9. I'll do it right away. I'll get right on it. Use these phrases to say that you will do something in the future as soon as possible. These expressions are used for urgent tasks. Number 10. Time will tell. Use this phrase to say that a situation is currently uncertain, but in the future it will become clear. For example, if you are discussing whether or not the country's new president is good, you could say, "Time will tell," to express that the answer will be revealed over the coming months and years.